It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we are taking a deeper dive into our thoughts about what appears to be a one-sided beef between Dr. Simone and Quad.
It is crazy to watch what we saw during part 2 of that reunion. I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. Here's my thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. Or it's not even thoughts, questions, because I have more questions than anything. I refuse to believe that this all stems from Sister Circle, right? So I only can use what I've seen as evidence to try to make an educated guess of what's going on here. Mm-hmm. What I do know about Dr. Simone is that she doesn't tell the truth in totality in the moment, right? And I will use the example of her own marriage, right? When she was basically the storyline where, Married to Madison saved their marriage and things like that. The way that she was telling the story of basically Cecil has been hanging around with this woman, and the woman became part of this guy group, and then she became golfing buddies with Cecil and things like that. And basically that Cecil was choosing this woman over Simone, right? That's how Dr. Simone was telling the story. Basically like, you know what, I'm leaving because you're choosing someone over me. After the season, once we actually got an in-depth interview, we realized that this wasn't no random woman, that actually she was the godmother to their children.
Yeah.
Right? And not only was she the godmother to their children, that Dr. Simone also had a personal relationship with this woman to where they went on trips. Mm-hmm. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they went to London and things like that. So it wasn't just some random woman that was coming in to divide Dr. Simone. I think Dr. Simone likes you until she don't, right? And I'm only using what I know to make an educated guess, right? So if I'm going off of the patterns of Dr. Simone, is that it doesn't have to make sense why I don't like you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to make sense of why I'm beefing with you. All I know is that when I feel like I'm done with you and I want to throw you away, I will make up something in my head in the sense of you only come around when the cameras are around. Sure, we're not the same age. We're not in the same circle. We're co-workers. And you had a whole boyfriend. You didn't tell me. Sure, like it makes sense in your head. I can only use what I know about Dr. Simone from the show that, hey, it doesn't have to make sense. She would basically strong arm her way to get her way and to get her point. What is your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I think that I can see where you're coming from with that. And I think that is definitely a possible reason because we really don't know why she has this much venom for Quad.
Nobody knows.
I feel like I can see there being some annoyance basically of like, whenever it's off season, I try to reach out to the girl or whatever the case may be. And we don't really even know if she's reaching out to Quad, to be honest.
We don't know.
But we're just trying to piece together what we can try to sum up, you know what I'm saying, as to what could be going on.
Yeah.
And if she's trying to reach out or different things she's trying to do and Quad is just not responsive, or if Quad has all this time for all of her real friends, going on vacations with folks, hanging out with folks, but Simone never seems to get the invite, then that could make you feel a way as though, okay, she's acting like we're friends when the cameras are around, but clearly we're not friends because off season I don't hear or see from this lady and I don't know anything about her life. And I think that could rub you the wrong way if you are under the impression that you guys have some type of friendship. But I think that's where it comes into your own kind of discernment of you realizing even if she comes around and acts this way when she's around me, clearly we're not friends if I'm not a priority in her life outside of the show. And I think that when we're watching Housewives and, all these other ensemble shows, that there's an understanding that they come together for the show. But it seems like for Married to Medicine, there's like a different kind of precedence that we are a friend group in real life that do a show together. And I think that if that is pretty much their premise of coming onto the show and what they bring that's different, then it's going to feel a way when you have somebody operating as though they're on a housewife show. So I can understand the annoyance, but to the point to where you are trying to get the lady kicked off the show, you're having screaming matches with her and saying the reason why you feel this way is because she gave y'all her butt to kiss and all this type of stuff. Personally, from what I've seen on the show, I don't think she's given the women her butt to kiss. I think that Quad always seems to want to have a good time when she's around the ladies. I think she's very vulnerable with the ladies about things that she's going through. And maybe when they're exchanging vulnerabilities, it can feel like a slap in the face when you think that you're getting deeper with somebody, but actually you're at the same place you were before you guys actually started talking. So I definitely understand frustration and annoyance, but at that point I would think you would come to the realization in yourself, well, she's obviously my coworker. No matter how cool she says we are, I'm not a priority in her life. And I would honestly think for Simone, I don't think Quad is a priority in her life either. I think that with Dr. Simone, we've seen, you know, her priority being her kids, her husband, her business. I'm not really sure like what she does in her, you know, social life outside of that. With Quad, we've seen her go to Nigeria and, you know, do all these different types of things. And all that stuff, yeah. And so we don't really quite see what Simone's social circle looks like outside of the show. So if this is her primary social circle, then it could feel heavier than if you're somebody who has multiple social circles. So that's all I can really think of, is that maybe this is her primary social circle and it really feels like Quad is being fake with her. But even still, just put her in a box that she's not a real friend and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying?
And here's what I have to say to you, Blair, right? Just because you're not my friend doesn't mean you're my enemy.
Exactly.
And I think Simone is taking the role of I'm your enemy, you're my enemy. And it just seems a little deeper than rap, a little deeper than hip hop. You get what I'm saying? Quad don't know what the problem is. Jackie don't know what the problem is, or at least she ain't saying it. Heavily says she don't know what the problem is. So now we have basically two of the main people who basically why people tune in for the show, Heavily and Quad, don't know what the problem is. So the person that's involved in the beef don't know what the problem is. Heavily, who usually got her hand in everybody's business, don't know what the problem is, right? Simone, instead of yelling the truth or basically the reasons why she don't like Quad or basically want to feel this way about Quad, she'd rather just yell, you gave us your butt to kiss, so we hung out with Greg. Now, let me tell you the problem I have with that statement, right? I am not putting anything on anybody. This is a disclaimer that they did not put on themselves. Dr. Greg and Quad decided to come on the TV screen and decided to talk about the sparring matches they had within their own house. So I'm not breaking news or anything, right? Quad said that Dr. Greg pulled me down the stairs by my hair, right? That's what she said.
Yes.
Right? Dr. Greg said that she pulled a knife on me. Like, what do you expect me to do? She pulled a knife on me. There's a police report on both of y'all. Both of y'all was wilding in that house.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But I think there is no excuse for a man putting his hands on a woman. Because one thing, a lot of people like to say that, hey, men are stronger than women and things of that nature, and they like to use that excuse. But another excuse is, hey, most men are faster than women. So meaning that if you feel like your life is in danger, before you have to use your strength, use your speed, right? Get out the situation. Run. You get what I'm saying? So here's why I have a problem with what Dr. Simone said. Because if we go by what they have decided to disclose what happened in their house, abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, that you knowingly and maybe even spitefully, right, brought her ex, who within her marriage abused her, as a way to get back at her because she gave you her butt to kiss. That lets me know, like, where your head at in this? Okay, we're not friends, but now you're intentionally trying to basically be mean to me or basically make an enemy out of me. Even go to last reunion, right? Unfortunately, we know the news about Quad's niece, right? Dr. Simone said out her mouth, I made that point purposely to drive a point, right? Quad says, stop, don't say it. I already know what you're about to say. But you purposely took a soft point in my life that is personal to me that was outside the show. This did not happen on the show, or what happened to Quad's niece and things like that. Quad, that's not even Quad's daughter. You get what I'm saying? So something that happened outside the show, and for you to use that to weaponize it, to drive a point of basically like, hey, I've been there for you when this and this happened, and Quad is basically saying don't do that, and you saying I did that purposely, I need to basically, hey, instead of y'all trying to build this whole storyline of trying to make Sweet Tea look crazy, I need Dr. Mimi to talk to Dr. Simone and see, hey, are you good with this? Because reality TV may not be good for you anymore. Because if you're expecting, to Blair's point, for us to be friends that filmed a TV show, how about you just focus on the friends part? Maybe you don't need to be on TV, right? Especially with your profession. And I don't know what I'm doing there, because I think in my head, I'm like, she's a doctor, and I'm thinking that's a prestigious position. So there should be a prestigious character attached to that position. But hey, doctors got lives just like mechanics got lives. And, you know, and just as people who work the register got lives. So I don't know what I'm doing there, but I'm doing it, right? But I would think that, hey, Dr. Simone, this may be a little bit too much for you, right? And if you're expecting friendship, I think we should take you off the TV show, from my opinion, because your whole beef with Quad comes off of you only come around when the cameras are around. And I'm just like, how about we just take the cameras out of it altogether, and you can solely focus on whatever's hurting you in your relationship? What are your thoughts on what I said?
I feel like they wouldn't be able to do that because Quad wouldn't come around.
Oh, because there's no cameras.
Because there's no cameras.
Okay.
Quad ain't got no reason to.
You got to lie and say, hey, the camera's here, Quad. Come over. You know what I mean?
Get Cecil in the back with his phone recording.
The whole time, though. and this is what I don't understand, too, especially being married, right?
Yeah. It's
obviously evident to me, or maybe I'm wrong, that I don't think Cecil know what the problem is, too.
Yeah, he invited Quad to the...
he likes Quad.
The Whitnick, yeah.
So it's kind of like whatever problem you have with Quad is so singular that I don't even think Cecil know, or Cecil just don't respect it. It's rather one of the two. But I would think for you to be going this hard for numerous seasons against this woman, that at least somebody would know the source, or at least the reason of this beef. But nobody knows, not even your own husband.
Well, the thing is, I can only go off what she says, and I'm listening to what she says, and I don't find that to be a good enough reason for her to be this mad. But I think if she's saying that her reason is because she gave us her butt to kiss, then that is her reason, and that is her justification for why she's this angry with her. I could understand Toya being more angry with her because you going around saying that I'm, sleeping with the neighbors while my husband's at work 100%. And all this type of stuff, and trying to get, receipts and people to vouch for you and saying that they seen that in the neighborhood. Like, I could see Toya taking it to that level and keeping it at that level with Quad.
100%.
But for Simone, like, as far as what she's done to you, I haven't seen what she's done to you other than be about herself and enjoy her life. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm just like, I feel like you kind of just have to accept that Quad is who she is, and she's going to operate and move how she wants to. She's not out here trying to hurt Simone in any type of way, hurt her family, or say anything crazy about her or anything that she's going through. So for the way that Quad moves to be something that ruffles Simone's feathers that much, I'm not the one to say, like, go straight to jealousy, but I'm just like, is it jealousy when it's something that is hard to understand? Well, is that a thing?
What's there to be jealous of, though? I mean, like,
but I think that it people can be jealous for multiple reasons. It doesn't have to be because your looks, because I think both of them are beautiful women. I don't even think it has to be your career, because Simone worked for a very hard career. It could be the fact that you're a socialite. The fact that people like to be around you, but the fact that you're the it girl, the fact that I'm
older though. Like I understand. Like,
I'm just saying, like, someone who has built their life up in a way to where they are a professional. Okay, maybe they don't feel like they have the freedom of somebody as Quad. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
And somebody could look at their life and be jealous of certain things that they wish that they could have for themselves. But because I have all these responsibilities, I don't get that same freedom. I think people can be jealous of people's freedom.
Hey, listen, if that's the case, I'm going to label that as stupid too. Because you and Quad is not the same age, right? You have built your life and your whole family in a way to where it's like, hey, Quad don't have two basically young men that she's trying to raise. So you're in a whole different.
But that's what I'm saying.
A whole different. Why? I understand what you're saying, and what I'm saying is, if this is the case, then that's stupid.
Okay.
Because I'm saying, why be jealous of her social life where this is the life that you built? You can't, like, you're jealous of a life that if you wanted to be a socialite, if this is one of the reasons, you chose to have those kids. You chose to be married. So my thing is, this is what comes with being married. You raise kids, right? You basically you are now in a transitional period to where you're basically preparing them for life, and now you are about to be empty nesters. Well, you was empty nesters, and now you're about to bring them back in. So like, it's a lot of things. So it's like, if Simone is using that as an excuse, I would say, hey, book your appointment with Dr. Mimi today then. Yeah. Because that makes no sense.
I think either way she does, because I don't see what has gotten her this angry. I think either way, you know what I'm saying? Because we really don't know. We're really just speculating.
The only thing that makes sense to me is that I feel like she feels like that I feel like Dr. Simone feels like that Quad does not deserve to be on Married to Medicine. Maybe that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that she feels like Quad is the fan favorite. But yet we are the doctors. We are the one that actually make the show legit. But y'all come here to see Quad. Because when I got rid of Quad, or when we got rid of Quad in Napa, right? The only reason why Quad was able to come back on the show, because this show got so much backlash for how they did Quad in that episode. To the point where Dr. Heavily switched.
But I think that's what makes it so jarring to see, is because it seems like everybody has let it go. But for some reason, Simone is still heavy on this issue. You know?
Yeah, and I think that's probably what Simone is like. I think Simone is the type to be like, I don't care what any of y'all think. We wanted to get Quad off the show. We go get her off the show, right? We gonna make it uncomfortable for her. We gonna bring her ex on the show, right? This ex that abused her allegedly and things of that nature. So it's like, none of it makes sense and none of it looks good. And that's why I'm like, the whole idea that you could say as a woman that you gave us your butt to kiss, so we hung out with Greg. It's like, what are you trying to allude there?
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to say as a woman who is older than Quad? I'm not gonna say by a lot, but y'all not enough to where y'all are basically in the same circles. But you're older than Quad, and you can basically say, I'm willing to go so low to mention your family members and also your ex-husband that abused you, that I know you don't want to be around.
It's as if she thinks Quad owes her something, and I really want to know, what does she owe you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Do y'all know? I need y'all to put in the comments of what y'all think the problem is. And do y'all think Dr. Simone went too far with the whole, like, you know what, you gave us your butt to kiss, and we decided to hang out with Greg. We brought Greg on the show and things of that nature. And basically you heard what she was yelling. You only come around when the cameras are around. That's the only time I really want to see her. But sure. What do y'all think? I really need to know, because this don't need to happen every season. I don't need to see anything else.
That's it.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all.
Bye.